Raider Nation. Thank you for joining us on the Only Nation podcast, brought to you by the Raider Ramble. My name is Heidi, but you may know me as Kevlar Prom Dress or even Raider Ladybug. I'm here with Raider Homer and T3RaiderFax. We're ready to talk some Raiders football together.
Always ready to talk Raider football. It's Chief Week. Oh, wait, I stole that. Sorry.
That's okay. It is Chiefs Week, and that means it's time for the Raiders to crank it up. Let's go.
Okay, today on the show, we will review the Bills game, preview the Chiefs game, and enjoy a special, Hey Homer, Did You Know? And by the way, we're recording on Wednesday, so happy birthday, Charles Woodson.
Happy birthday.
The GOAT.
All right, we would love to hear from you, so here's how you can get in touch with us. Leave us a message on the Only Nation Podcast voicemail line at 904-701-8667. That's 904-701-8667. Or you can also text us at that number. Our email address is onlynationpod@gmail.com, and we can also be found on Twitter and Instagram at onlynationpod. You can also check us out on Facebook and YouTube at The Only Nation Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on your favorite social media accounts and podcasting apps. And don't forget to send us a message with your name and address, and we'll send you some Raider merch ASAP. Also, check out our new website at onlynationpod.com.
Okay, in the latest news.
Here's the latest Raider news.
The Raiders fell for the second week in a row. We lost at home to the Bills, 30-23.
You think the world's going to end.
Better days are coming.
We actually had a real chance at that game, too.
I didn't feel nearly as defeated during that game as I did previous week against New England.
And you know what? That game versus the Chiefs and the Patriots made that loss a little bit easier to swallow in my mind. But my takeaway from this Bill game is that, look, we have good depth, right? We were competitive. We were in this game. We had a shot if we didn't make a few mistakes. But we have the depth to compete once we get our starters back. So I'm just chilling. I want to make it through Chiefs week. Hopefully we get a win. And then, do what we got to do during the bye week. Those 2 weeks, take those 2 weeks and fix all this small stuff that can be fixed.
2 words, get healthy.
Yes.
2 words, Wade Phillips.
I'm in. I'm sold.
Okay, Derek Carr, he had a decent day against the Bills. He went 32 for 44 for 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he added 4 rushes for 20 yards. But he did have 1 lost fumble. He was aided with a garbage time touchdown at the end of the game, but overall his stats looked good.
Look, I want to jump on this garbage time thing. Yeah, it's garbage time, right? But don't harp on it too much because you've seen him do it with 2 minutes to go when it counted. You know what I mean? So he can take the ball down the field when we need a touchdown to win the game. He's done it 19 times. And, of course, during garbage time, he can do it too. So that's just one thing I want people to take a look at, keep in their mind.
I'll tell you what, if they had gotten the onside kick there at the end of the game, I'm convinced they would have scored and sent it into overtime.
I mean, we were moving the ball. We just, that penalty on Agholor, or not on Agholor, but on the Agholor catch, Foster Moreau, that killed it. That was the 50-yard strike that everybody wanted to see. People are calling in the radio station still bitching about him not going downfield. It was set up perfectly. That's what Gruden does. So we're on track. It's just to clean up the mistakes.
I mean, statistically speaking, Carr's having the best season of his career again.
Yeah. But so if we score, what did we score on that game?
23.
Scored 23 points. Yeah. Okay. So.
And we left a lot of points off the board.
Yeah, but defense, you got to hold the opposing offense to 21. Sometimes that's what it takes. That's why we're a team. The defense knows if they know the offense is struggling, they got to step up and play harder. That's what football teams do. Good football teams.
Okay, Josh Jacobs, he was held in check with 15 carries for 48 yards and 3 receptions for 25 yards. Darren Waller led our receivers with 9 receptions for 88 yards. Hunter Renfrow added 57 yards on 5 receptions. Nelson Agholor, the alligator, also pulled in 4 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. And old man Jason Witten He had 2 receptions for 18 yards and a touchdown.
That was a great catch in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it was.
That was a great call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad Carr ran around a little bit, kept that play alive, and then delivered a strike. That was a damn good play overall.
Mm-hmm.
And credit Carr on that. He put the ball, the only place that could have been caught was by Whitten.
Yep. All right, Eric Harris, my man, the guy I've been wanting to play well, has not been playing all that great, but he added 9 tackles for the defense, while Trayvon Mullen and Corey Littleton each added 7. Yeah, man, Trayvon Mullen, he's looking good. He's looking good. Max Crosby had the Raiders' only sack and contributed a tackle, but he's got to do more.
Got to get a lot more production from Mad Max.
Yeah. And the rate that we're going, we are going to have 16 sacks this year.
Oh, man. I'm missing Brinson Buckner, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about...
Be lower. That would be lower than the 2018 total, wouldn't it?
No, now you're going to get us...
I'd have to look up the numbers.
It's close to that. I know that 2018 was under 20. Yeah, I think it might have been like 16. It was around there.
That's
unacceptable. You're right on pace.
We've played 4 games, and Max has 3 sacks, and then who was it? Nassib and Hurst, they split 1, so we have a total of 4.
Right,
man, not good at all.
Mm-mm.
Not good. Daniel Carson had a good day, going 3 for 3 on field goals with a long of 54 yards and made both PATs. That dude's got a leg, man. He's bounced back for sure. I think he's really bounced back from last year.
Yeah, I really like him.
He's having a solid year.
Yeah.
All right, and linebacker Nick Witkowski was back for the Raiders as well. But we were short Trent Brown, Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Rico Gafford, and Damon Arnett due to injuries. The injury bug is just beating us over the head with the bat. Man, it's rough.
Yeah.
All right, so Damon Arnett had surgery on his thumb and was placed on injured reserve, and defensive tackle Daniel Ross was also placed on IR.
And I hope that we can get Arnett back quickly. He had some thumb and wrist problems when he was at Ohio State, but was able to play through much of the season. But this is a whole different level.
Yes.
Yeah, I think when he re-injured it, he did a number on it. All the rumors around the locker room are saying, yeah, it's going to be 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And I saw the injury when he went down on it. It did not
look like he
good.
was bent all the way back or something, right? It looked really bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty bad. In other news, wide receiver Keelan Doss and running back Theo Riddick were both activated from the practice squad for the game against Buffalo, but then they've since reverted back to it. So that means there were 2 openings for roster spots. Defensive tackle Mo Hurst was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. So our thoughts and prayers are with Mo, and of course with his heart condition anyway. That was the one thing that concerned me. I hope that he is well quickly and that he can recover over the bye week and then be ready to go pretty soon. But regardless, my primary concern was this young man's health and safety.
Yeah.
America First Credit Union, the Raiders' official credit union partner, is launching the first ever exclusive Raiders Visa debit card. Got to get me one of those.
Damn, I was just waiting. You beat me to it.
Well, then you can get one as well. Now, as a fallout to Darren Waller's charity event last week, where players were seen for a short time not wearing masks, Waller was fined $30,000. Quarterbacks Derek Carr and Nathan Peterman, tight ends Jason Witten, Foster Moreau, and Derek Carrier, receivers Hunter Renfrow and Zay Jones, cornerback Nevin Lawson, and practice squad center Eric Magnuson all were fined $15,000 each. Boy, I'll tell you, COVID is not only dangerous, it's also very costly if you're a Raider.
Now, I've been hearing that they're going to donate, the NFL is going to donate those fines to a charity, right?
Yes, they do.
I hope it's the Waller's charity.
That would be great. There's kind of a call upon them to do that. Really be the only right thing to do.
For real.
Okay, and that brings us to the latest edition of Heidi's High Five.
And now it's time for another Heidi's High Five.
All right. With an optimistic outlook, this is this week's version of Heidi's High Five. It may not sound optimistic at first. Number 1, with a little less than 13 minutes left in the game and only trailing by 7, Colt Miller's hit with an illegal block in the back penalty, which is completely bogus. Josh Jacobs picks up 9 yards on the next play to make it 2nd and 11. And then Josh Norman punches the ball out from Darren Waller's grasp. And that moment, perhaps, is when the air starts to get let out of the balloon, because just 2 plays later, the Raiders gave up a 50-yard touchdown bomb, and the Raiders were down by 14 points. Number 2, 4th and 1 with 9:30 left. Gruden goes for it, which is the right call, but the Bills' defense beat the Raiders at the point of attack. Already down 2 scores, this was kind of the last gasp. They went for another 4th down earlier, which would have worked, except for the fact that they let an unblocked lineman snake in and make the stop. Number 3, driving again after a defensive stop, a big Renfro reception, and then a big Jacobs gain, which was negated by offsetting penalties, both of which I think were bogus. The roughing the passer call against Derek Carr was ticky-tack, but the lowering the head penalty against Jacobs was even worse. Jacobs didn't even make contact with his helmet, and I saw 2 other games on Sunday where running backs lowered their heads and actually initiated contact. And were they penalized? Of course not. A quick score there, and they might have had some life. But then the strip sack and the Carr fumble, got to have better ball security there. Number 4, despite everything, the Raiders put up a late touchdown and still had a chance at the end. The bottom line, there is no quit in this team. Despite the injuries, the mental mistakes, the times when they were out-physicaled on the field, despite the lack of pass rush and the turnovers, and all against a team that I think is better than the Patriots, who beat us by more, I'm encouraged. Let's go get Kansas City and shock the world. Number 5, this team does not play well from behind, which is worrisome with Kansas City coming up. All I can say is that the Raiders have to pretend that the season has started all over and that it's nothing. It'd be very easy to become mired in a 2-game losing streak and start to get down. Time to shake it off and plan to shock the world. A 3-game losing streak going into the bye would mean a 2-3 record. And that's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. We can survive this. But regardless of the score, we need a strong showing. And that is this week's version of Heidi's High Five.
All right, thank you. Honestly, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year we'd be going into the bye at 2-3, by looking at our record, I would have been okay with it when you see our opponents.
In talking with most people, I don't think anybody had the Raiders going 4-0. There's a lot of people that had them going 3-1, but you have to remember 2-2 is only 1 game worse than that. And again, we're at 2-2 now. A loss against the defending Super Bowl champs on their home turf, I wouldn't call that a loss unless they get blown out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chiefs are looking almost unstoppable this year.
Yeah, it would take, with them being on a short week, that would have to factor in, and then our defense would have to show up and hit them in the mouth and force 2 to 3 turnovers. I mean, that's going to be a rough game to watch. You know, hopefully we can keep it competitive with our offense and just get into a shootout with them, but their defense is looking really good too.
Somebody's going to knock them off this year.
Yeah.
And it might as well be
Why
us.
not us, right? Yeah, that would be great, but it's not likely, right? So going into the bye week though at 2-3, that's 2 weeks to fix what we got to fix. You know, and just to focus on that and get healthy. Like I said earlier, my takeaway from last week's game was that we were competitive with, you know, a lot of people on the injury list. So we can get everybody healthy. We're in any game. You know what I mean? But then it's not just about that. You know, you got to execute, but then make the play. Somebody make a play. Get the catch, Ruggs, and go 40 yards after that and score the touchdown. Josh Jacobs make that safety miss at the end once you get past the linebackers. That kind of stuff. We're right there, though.
I'm sure you've all seen this, but Josh Dubow from the AP, who normally puts out negative things against the Raiders, put out an interesting stat or fact today that I found very, very interesting. The last time the Raiders finished 2-3 at the end of 5 weeks and made the playoffs was the same year they lost to Buffalo in week 4 and Kansas City in week 5. That year, 1980, they went all the way to the Super Bowl and won the whole damn thing.
Don't get my hopes up, all right? Don't toy with
Interesting.
me like that.
Well, it's not like Josh Dubow's a Raider lover, so for him to put out something semi-positive is nice.
That caught my attention. But now, in order for that to happen, the starting quarterback had to have his leg broken, and then a substitute quarterback came in and led them the rest of the way. So I don't see that happening.
No, we just need our defense to step up. That's what it is, man. We can move the ball. Yes, we want to turn field goals into touchdowns, but I think Ruggs will help with that. Certainly Brian Edwards will. He's tall, he's big. Agholor, he showed up, So I think he's going to be a threat in the middle of the field now. But they got to watch him, 3 wide receiver set, or 4 wide. It's still early. We got plenty of time. If we can make a Super Bowl run, that'd be great.
And hopefully COVID will allow the season to continue.
Oh, God. Now you're making it even worse.
I know. Hey, at least we're not the Tennessee Titans.
And stops along the way. At least we're not the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man.
What did the Titans do? I mean, did they try to transmit COVID to everyone?
I don't know.
I don't want to touch on that, though, because, we're just talking about several of our players getting fined for not wearing masks.
Well, I just want to point out you can't spell Titanic without the word Titan.
Facts. Definite facts. All right, for the Bills game, each of us kind of picked a player that stood out to us that was a little bit special. And I went with Nelson Agholor. He was able to pull in 4 receptions for 44 yards. He really helped stretch the field. His speed was evident. I believe he ran a 4.42 40 in the combine before he came into the league. He's been in the league for a while, and he's been a really good influence on the Raiders' wide receiver room. There was a lot of speculation that when he was first signed, he was kind of a camp body, and he's actually ended up being a really valuable member of the team. His versatility is showing. And I'm excited to see what he can do. I know that he came in with reputation of having bad hands, but he hasn't shown that here. He's actually shown that he can be a trusted receiver. I think Carr's getting confidence in him.
Oh, yeah. That touchdown that he had versus the Bills when he came back and fought through the defender, swatting at the ball to catch it and cradle it and pull it in. That will make the quarterback trust you. You know what I mean? Carr hasn't had that over the last couple of years, But, yeah, that was a great catch.
And I'll be happy to admit that I was wrong. When they first brought Nelson Agholor in, I just shook my head and thought, okay, he's a camp body. He'll be here just for a while. I didn't understand 2 things. I didn't understand, number 1, how much Gruden really likes the guy. And number 2, what a hard worker he is. I got to give him props on both sides.
Yeah,
and I like the leadership that he's brought to the Raiders because our wide receiver core is so young. Really young.
And right now, pretty banged up.
Yes.
I mean, I believe in him more than I believed in Williams. And he's only played for us for 4 games. I mean, I saw Williams drop a lot of balls last year. So, yeah, of course, T3, I was with you on the drops. I was concerned. No, he, like the first touchdown that he got against Carolina, he didn't show that the ball was coming because the defender was looking at him to make a play, to make a move, And he just kept his hands low until that ball got right on top of him, and he hauled it in. And the defender was too late to rake it out of there, That's savvy.
He's made good catches. But he's also drawn a couple of PIs as well.
Exactly. He's helped stretch the field for that, too. He got his nickname, the Alligator, from his drops. Alligator arms going over the middle. And I might have to start calling him something else.
Philly just crucified him.
Oh, they did. It's hard to play in Philly, though. They have some of the worst fans. Not nice people.
I went to a Philly game one time in the old vet, and it was nice and toasty there. They actually set the seats on fire.
Did they throw full beer cans at you as you were walking by, too?
No, I'll tell you what. I wore all green and kept my mouth shut.
All right, who did you pick?
I went with none other than Derek Carr. Right, this is a guy
Shocker.
Shocker, right? This is the guy that passed, Ken Stabler's touchdown record, right? That pisses a lot of Raider fans off because he doesn't have the wins or the Super Bowl. But it shows his commitment to this team that has put him through coach after coach, wide receiver after wide receiver, offensive lines have changed, all of it, system after system. This dude's come back from injury. He's not, we talked about Trent Brown a couple episodes. Derek Carr, that's not Derek Carr. He's a different football player than Trent Brown is. You know what I mean? So just because Trent Brown, he's one of the greatest right tackles, right, in this era or whatever. But he doesn't have that passion and that desire that Derek Carr has to get better, to play injured, to fight for a team. And Derek Carr does, dude. And yes, 4 fumbles, that's bad. But look, man, you got to block. You cannot get driven into the quarterback right off the ball. He didn't even get out of his snap versus the Bills or his drop back. That can be cleaned up. You can teach him to tuck the ball when he needs to. But the fact that he delivered, to Nelson Agholor, started believing in Nelson Agholor, he started believing in Renfro on that long pass. Darren Waller got 80 and some odd yards again, right? He's spreading the ball out. 11 receivers, 9 receivers, 8 receivers. He's seeing the field, right? A lot of people say that he can't do the reads, but he can read the field. He can see the field. All right. And the biggest thing is, right, 20 yards. He ran for 20 yards in that game. And it's not just running, but remember when he ran for the first down and he looked like he was about to get stuffed? He didn't slide, right? No. He tried to do a little bit of wiggle and he got his shoulder under the defender and reached out and got that first down. That's what we wanted him to do on the goal line, right? Those 2 times. He is progressing as a runner, but they started talking about it on the radio, standing tall in the pocket and delivering the ball. He's still that kind of quarterback, that pocket passer. But he can run, and that's what makes a lot of people mad is that he doesn't run. But he's looking to make plays down the field. So as he starts to trust his wide receivers like Nelson Agholor and Renfro and Waller, he will be doing that. And the touchdown pass to Agholor that got called back, that was 50-yarder, 49 yards, right? If that wouldn't have got called back, he would have done everything that the naysayers have been asking him to do in that one game, and we still would have lost. But he is putting it all on the field. So anyways, that's Derek Carr.
And Homer, may I also mention that when he ran for that first down, they continued to run the clock. Okay, I'm saying this to the referees against Jacksonville last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they also didn't rule him out of bounds either.
That's true. But anyway, now my hero for the game, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to give you my wild card here. Back in the summer of 2019, just as training camps were ready to open, I jumped on another podcast and I started a movement. Every day for about a month, I called in and my leadoff was always the same thing. Heidi, do you remember what it was?
No.
Hashtag pay Rodney Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I have to tell you, I was really excited when the Raiders finally got the deal done. And locking up the big guy in the middle is one of the best investments this Raiders team, in my opinion, could make. He's been solid. He's anchored a line that has depth, but at times has had to be pieced together. And you never hear his name called out for a penalty.
Right.
The center doesn't often get a lot of love, but this one's getting it from me. As a matter of fact, just today, I got my black number 61 Hudson jersey on order.
Nice.
How's that for love?
Nice.
Hey, quit copying me. I think he's the best center we've had since Jim Otto. You know what I mean? Of course, I didn't get to see Jim Otto, but you look at the footage, you look at him knock people around, you read the stories about him playing injured. Of course, Dan Dalby, he won 3 Super Bowls, but I think Rodney Hudson is a better center than Dan Dalby. Super Bowls don't always, mean everything. Man, Rodney Hudson, he is, man, great player. One of the best signings we've ever made. Definitely the best signing that Reggie McKenzie made.
And I was not pumping the brakes at all. I went on the podcast every day and I always let off with hashtag pay Rodney Hudson.
Nice.
And you got it done.
Good job, T3.
It's funny. It's funny when he got signed, my Twitter and Facebook and everything just lit up. I was like, you did it. I was like, I didn't do it. I'll take credit for it, but I didn't do it.
Take the credit. You did it.
I should have taken it.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys see happening this week against the Chiefs? Game predictions.
Oh, man. I think we're going to lose. So if we lose, it's going to be probably going to be like 42 to, 28, something like that. But I want us to win. So if we win, it's going to be like 42-35. You know what I mean? It's still going to be a high-scoring game. There's no way our defense is going to be able to stop. This is Derek Carr's game. Win or lose, he has to come out and chunk that rock and keep us in a punch, in a fight with the Chiefs, and then the defense make something happen at the end of the game. Make something happen.
All right, I've been wrong 2 weeks in a row, so I'm hoping I'm wrong 3 weeks in a row. I have the Chiefs winning 37-27.
And I've got us going down to the Chiefs 34-20. I'd like to put us down for more points, but Carr has struggled so much at Arrowhead. 20 points would actually be a breakout performance for him.
But it's not going to be cold. It's not, it's a little earlier than we normally go out there. And I think Derek Carr, I think he really is pissed. I think he really is tired of it. Like, that dude does put in a lot of work. You know what I mean? I think that dude really, and now, like where I was just talking about him ducking under that defender to get the first down, like, he knows his body's back now. He knows it. I think he's going to show up, and I think he's going to chunk the ball around.
A buddy of mine out in Oakland texted a picture where he was wearing a Chiefs t-shirt that had the first 3 letters blocked out, so it just said the F's.
All right, Raider Nation. We want to hear from y'all. You can give us a call at 904-701-8667. Give us a thought on the game. Give us a thought on our segments. Tell us whatever you want to tell us. Just call us. You can leave us a voicemail or a text message at that number, or send us a message via social media, and we'll share your thoughts.
And that brings us to, hey, Homer, did you know?
Hey, Homer, did you know?
All right, it's time to put a smile on your faces with this week's Homer Did You Know? You don't even have to do any guesses, just sit back and listen. I'm going to take you back to the year 1999 in Arrowhead Stadium, where all the Chiefs had to do is beat the Raiders in the final week of the season to get into the playoffs.
Ah, yeah.
Up to that point, the Raiders had not won in Kansas City since 1988, and the game didn't start out well for the Silver and Black. A punt return after a 3-and-out for a touchdown, followed by a Rich Gannon pick six, had the Chiefs up 14-0 quick. And the offense hadn't even been on the field. Then they extended their lead to 17-7, but then Zach Crockett burst over the right side and battled into the end zone to make it 17-14. Then a Rich Gannon shovel pass to Napoleon Kaufman, and all of a sudden the Raiders were up 21-17. The Chiefs then retook the lead, but then John Gruden led the Raiders back. Down 31-28, Tyrone Wheatley produced one of the toughest touchdown runs you will ever see, putting the Raiders back on top 35-31. The Chiefs came back with a touchdown of their own, and it was 38-35 Kansas City. Then Rich Gannon led the team down the field with just 1:34 left. He converted on a 4th and 13 with a pass to Tim Brown, setting up a game-tying field goal. This was a game plagued by special teams mistakes for the Chiefs, including 3 attempted kickoffs that ended up out of bounds by kickoff specialist John Baker, helping to keep the Raiders in the game and stop the Chiefs from sealing the victory. The Chiefs then missed a field goal at the end of the game, which sent into overtime, and then helped by favorable field position after the 3rd and final kickoff out of bounds. Former Chief Rich Gannon drove the Raiders into Chief territory, setting up the game-winning field goal, 41-38 for the win, knocking the Chiefs out of the playoffs, and it all happened in Kansas City on Gruden's watch back in the year 1999. Homer, did you know?
I saw that one. That was beautiful.
I've seen that one on YouTube too.
Yeah, I gotta ask something though, real quick. Who's a better signing from the Chiefs, Rich Gannon or Rodney Hudson?
Rodney Hudson.
Wow, I mean, Rich Gannon, he's on my Mount Davis more or whatever, but I mean, I gotta say, Rodney Hudson is really good. He's a really good signing.
Homer, what did you expect me to say?
I mean, you had to, right? You had to go with that. Hey, you know what, though? My favorite Raiders versus Chiefs game was when they were in Oakland. I think it was in 2002, and we just kept running Zach Crockett at them, and I guess to win the division, right? And they could not stop it. He just kept running through there and running through there and running through there. Oh, that was so beautiful, man. Oh, I missed that. Yeah, those days.
I'd love to see Josh Jacobs do that on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty.
Yeah, I guess I did know that.
That's a nice did you know?
Yeah,
that brings a smile to your face.
Happy memories.
So I guess that brings us to the best segment of the show, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be?
All right, right, last week, September 30th, Raiders president Mark Bedane and Raiders alumni Kenny Shedd, who is currently a police officer with the San Leandro Police Department in California, and Steve Wisniewski, whose son is a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department officer. They headed to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officers Canine Division in the South Central Area Command of the LVMPD. They met the latest addition to the force, Canine Raider. Raiders toured the facility, attended a debriefing, and watched a demonstration of the canine skills. The members of the Raiders, they also brought along customized trading cards featuring human members of the unit, along with their canine partners. The officers of the force, they will be distributing the cards to the community. And my favorite card that I saw, you can find it online, is Canine Raider. He is a 2-year-old Dutch Shepherd. He was purchased by the Raiders for the department. The department was really happy to get him because they don't have the funding to get their own dogs. They said it could have been months or even years before they got a new canine. So this is going to be first. My hero is a canine. It's Canine Raider.
That might be the first canine for this segment, but you've had plenty of canine heroes in your life.
Oh, I have.
Absolutely.
And Dutch Shepherd, I believe they're close to German Shepherds, so I'm a little biased to the Shepherd clan. Raider's a 2-year-old Dutch Shepherd, and my Jean Grey, she's about a 5-year-old German Shepherd.
There's nothing wrong with being biased.
I am biased.
If we ever get a Raiders player whose last name is Shepard, I know whose jersey you're getting.
I have loved Shepherd since I was a little kid. Yeah, so thank you, Raiders. Thank you, Las Vegas Raiders, for making sure that the police department there has a great new member of the force. Thank you for taking care of them, providing us cards to the force so they can interact with the community, work on community policing, and work on restoring relationships between the community and the officers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jean Grey approves of this message.
Yes, she does.
That's cool. I love seeing the Raiders do that. It's important, bridging that gap between law enforcement and communities. That definitely is an important thing, especially these days.
Exactly. All right. Thanks again to our listeners for joining us on the Only Nation podcast.
And give us a call at 904-701-8667. We want to hear from you. You can leave us a voicemail or send us a text message to that number. You can email us at theonlynationpod@gmail.com, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at OnlyNationPod. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube. Just search The Only Nation Podcast, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on your favorite social media accounts and podcasting apps. Don't forget to send us a message with your name and address, and we'll get you some free Raider swag sent out to you. Also, check out our new website at onlynationpod.com.
Until next time, everyone, go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen, and go Raiders.
Hey, he was a Raider fan.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Go Raiders.